I like to place an order. Yeah. Hey, let me get a chicken box and a half and half. Alright, good looking out. I like to place an order. Yeah. Hey, let me get a chicken box and a half and half. Alright, good looking out. A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes. Switching lanes. A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lanes. A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lanes. A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lanes. A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes. I'm switching lanes. A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes. But before we get started with this demonstration, let me read my copyright. Younger females like older men. So my smoothie is going to consist of I'm switching lanes. A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes. I'm switching lanes. A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes. Salute everybody. I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. We're going to go Detroit as well as Baltimore news. Coming out of Detroit, we have a couple of stories, and coming out of Baltimore, we have a couple of stories. But the main story that's coming out of Baltimore is going to be a 6-year-old boy was shot and unalived. And coming out of Detroit, we got London Thomas' boyfriend's mom has been arrested. Salute to the replay gang. Salute to my moderators. Salute to the chat. Salute Jamie. Salute April. Salute Belinda. Salute Nikki Lynn. Just got a couple of quick announcements to make, and we're going to jump into this demonstration. If you would like to join the Rock Squad by purchasing a membership, please click on the link. Also, make sure to hit the like button and please subscribe to the channel. If you have a question or a comment that you would like for me to read, please put it in a super chat by clicking on the $ symbol. All right. Appreciate everybody for pulling up. Salute, Jennifer. Salute. Glad that you have finally caught alive. Salute, Marty. Salute, Rebecca. All right, y'all. Let's jump into these demonstrations. But now, first, we're going to start off. We're going to get to Detroit. Now, London Thomas' body was found. They arrested the boyfriend of London Thomas, and they arrested the mother of that boyfriend. Now, they didn't charge them with unaliving London. They charged the mother of the boyfriend with lying. They charged the boyfriend with lying, but they charged him with lying in another case, right? So let's just jump into it, y'all. Let's jump into
it.
Hi, Taryn. Yeah, this is a really big deal for London's family who, have basically been hearing radio silence from investigators since London's body was found last Saturday. Now, 48-year-old Charla Pendergrass of Inkster has been charged with lying to a peace officer. The other person of interest has been released for now, but investigators still consider them a person of interest. Take a listen to what London's grandmother had to say.
It's been miserable. Heartbroken, not eating, not sleeping.
It's just heartbroken. You know, I'll never get my baby back.
No murder charges in the case of 17-year-old London Thomas, who was found dead April 26th. But in connection, 48-year-old Charlotte Pendergrass has been charged with lying to a peace officer, a felony carrying up to 4 years in prison.
I think she got something to do with it. I want justice for my granddaughter. I want her to go to jail for murder. I want justice for my granddaughter.
Charlotte Pendergrass is one of 2 suspects police originally had in custody. State police confirm the other suspect, who has not been charged, has been released and is still considered a suspect.
They trying to lie and had and scheme for each other. I want them. I want justice. I want both of them. Life for life. Do some time. 4 years ain't enough.
What we know about Charlotte Pendergrass, she's connected with a home on Carlisle Street in Inkster, the same street London Thomas was last seen on April 5th when visiting her boyfriend. London's grandma said shortly after London's appearance, she confronted Charlotte Pendergrass.
I talked to the lady, and she told me my granddaughter had left, but I knew she was lying.
Now, according to London's grandmother, she knew that the boyfriend's mom was lying. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And it's not, when it comes to people, it's just a certain temperature, it's a certain aura that a person gives you, whereas though 9 times out of 10, you know they lying. Now, according to London's grandmother, she felt like the boyfriend's grandmother was definitely lying. Let me backtrack.
She confronted Charlotte Pendergrass.
I talked to the lady, and she told me my granddaughter had left, but I knew she was lying.
When was that?
When we was looking for London, and she was sitting in the car like she was talking to somebody and didn't want nobody in the house.
So the boyfriend's mother was sitting in the car and talking like she didn't want nobody in the house to hear her.
Know what she was saying, and when she said she walked up, I knew she was lying.
Let's throw up some pink hearts, y'all. Throw up some pink hearts for London Thomas. Throw up some pink hearts for London Thomas. Salute to the chat. Salute, y'all. You know what? And when it comes to, this is what I wanted to point out. I wanted to point this out early on. When it comes to the DPD, when it comes to the Detroit Police Department, it is something that's not right when it comes to the Detroit Police Department. How many of y'all watch the Tubi movies? How many of y'all watch Tubi movies? Drop a 1 if you watch the Tubi movies. Drop a 2 if you don't watch the Tubi movies. One thing about them Tubi movies, the majority of the Tubi movies come out of Detroit, right? Don't the majority of those movies come out of Detroit? And what have we noticed from watching them Tubi movies? Give me 1 second. What have we learned about watching the Tubi movies? Give me 1 second, y'all. And I'm going to say almost every movie, almost every Tubi movie that comes out of Detroit, it's always crooked cops in those Tubi Detroit movies. Have y'all ever noticed that? Have y'all ever noticed that? Now, I know the cops are corrupted all over. Every city got corrupt cops. But why with the Tubi Detroit movies, why do they always got crooked cops? Like they got more crooked cops. They got more Detroit movies with crooked cops in it than they got women shaking their booty. Can somebody please tell me what's really good with Detroit? I had to get that in before I forget. And that was a question that I wanted to ask y'all. So can somebody clear that up? I understand that's horrible. And I thought it may have just been me. I was like, well, maybe it's just me. Lisa says, yep, facts, Shank, about Detroit Tubi movies. Salute, Born a Queen. Let me see what the chat's saying, y'all. Thankful, Shelly. That's horrible, our people, too. Rebecca, Lori, salute to the chat, y'all. Marty says, it's movies and Shank. Marty don't like me coming for Detroit. Marty don't like me coming for Detroit. Jennifer says, facts. Cynthia says, I can't credit DPD. Let me grab something else, y'all. Give me 1 second. So let me see where this is. That ain't what I want. But according to Abel says, you have to realize there's a lot of crooked cops everywhere, but a lot of people want to see real life based movies as well. I know, and that's what I'm really leading to. Like, you know, Detroit film directors, they gonna make sure that they let it be known that the cops is crooked. Shout out to the film directors out of Detroit. They letting us know what's good. Nay says, Detroit do have the worst police department than I have ever seen any back then. Now we're gonna swing to Baltimore because Baltimore City got a lot of ish with them as well. But I think, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, I think when it comes to the crooked cops, I think Detroit is leading amongst all of them. I think Detroit got Baltimore beat when it comes to crooked cops.
The 17-year-old's loved ones desperate for answers to questions about her death and what happened in the 3 weeks she was missing. Thank you for joining us. For 7 News Detroit at 5, I'm Glenda Lewis.
And I'm Mike Duffy. It's an important update in a case we know so many of you have been following. This exclusive video showing the woman arrested and charged for lying to police officers during this investigation. 7 News Detroit with the only camera in the courtroom for arraignment.
And it's been less than a week since London's body was found in Southfield. At one point, her boyfriend was named a person of interest in her disappearance. He has not been charged.
7 News Detroit reporter Randy Wimbley questioning the defense attorney of the woman charged today. He's also speaking with London's grandmother about this break in the case.
Investigators initially had 2 people in custody with seemingly the hopes of getting homicide charges on both of them. Now they have 1 suspect in custody facing a lone lesser charge. They, however, are adamant the investigation is not over. Charlotte Pendergrass was back in custody less than 3 hours after she was released from the Inkster Police Department Friday.
the look on her face to me says it all. The look on her face to me says it all. Like, she ain't right. Salute, Crystal. Salute, Cotan. I don't know how y'all feel, but the look on her face to me, it says it all.
Pendergrass arraigned on a 4-year felony of lying to police as they invest.
Is it me? I mean, let me know how y'all feel. Right, Nay. She guilty. Salute, Virtuous. Salute. She guilty. You could just look at the look on her face. Looking dumbfounded. Let me backtrack, y'all. Backtrack. Pay attention to her face.
Hours after she was released from the Inkster Police Department Friday. Pendergrass arraigned on a 4-year felony of lying to police as they investigate the death of London Thomas, the 17-year-old who went missing last month and whose body was discovered in an SUV in Southfield last week.
The defendant did knowingly and willfully make a statement or statements to the office that she knew were false or misleading, and that London Thomas left 27262 Carlisle through the front door, alive and well.
Pendergrass was taken into custody along with the 23-year-old man.
So I guess they got her with lying that, and I don't know how they were able to find out that she lied about London leaving out the front door and she was alive. I guess that'll come out. That'll come out in the trial. But they got her with lying. She's only facing up to 4 years. I want her, you know, charged with the actual unaliving. You know, I mean, that's up to 4 years, and all she got to do is take a plea. Marty says, Shank, they had video evidence. All she got to do is take a plea. Belinda says, eyes are all big. Virtuous says, it's not all that. Belinda says, look, got the eye emojis. Precious says, well, if the lady is caught telling a lie, then why is her son not charged yet? Good question. But Marty says they got video evidence. You know, and y'all know what? I'm tired of saying it. I'm hoping that this is going to be the last time that I say it. Parents, yes, we love our children, but at the same time, we gotta hold our children accountable. If we love our children, we have to show tough love. And in some situations, it's going to hurt worse than other situations. You know, if your child, in this case, if you got a 23-year-old son and your 23-year-old son is in a relationship with a 17-year-old young teenage, with a 17-year-old girl, don't worry about whether or not the 17-year-old girl parents allow it. You know that it's wrong. And you got to step in and you got to tell your son, hey, son, love you to death. However, it's no reason why you should be dating this 17-year-old girl. Now, allegedly, he was dealing with her for 3 years. He was grooming her. So allegedly, that would have made him 20 and London would have been 14. Allegedly. So allegedly, he's 20 and she's 14. We definitely know that that's a no-no. The mother knew, definitely the mother knew that her son was messing with an underage female. So she should have stepped in and said, no, you can't bring her over here. Now, what you do from around me ain't nothing that I can control. But see, as a parent, this is where she went wrong at. She allowed it. And in these type of situations, most of the times, it always come back to bite you in the ass.
Believed to be a relative, last Saturday after authorities found Thomas's body. They were held for nearly a week without being formally charged. The 23-year-old man was released Friday morning without charges. Pendergrass's defense attorney, Terry Johnson.
Let's go back to a week ago. You know, they were turned in on a homicide charge, and they were held approximately 129, 130 hours, violation of their rights. and oh, we're going to do something. We've got this, we've got that. And they come out with lying to a police officer. I mean, they are doing nothing but grasping at straw at this point.
That's what I don't understand. For all my legal experts, maybe y'all can help me understand. Y'all had them, right? Because remember, they had already had, I guess, detained them or arrested them or whatever y'all want to call it. Remember? And then they let them go. But now they come back and rearrest the mom with lying to, you know, the law enforcement. That's all y'all could get her with. That's all y'all could get her with. She 13 and him 20, sick. Not in my damn house anyhow, and I would report his ass quick. Salute, Boo Banger. Yep, allow it in her home. This is why we don't want the young ones with groomers. Shank tell them. Both parents know they was together. Exactly. It is illegal to lie to the police. You can only hold for 72 hours without concrete evidence, or you have to let them go. All right. Let's finish up with her, and then we're going to move to Baltimore with the 6-year-old boy been unalive, and then we're going to come back to Detroit.
Meanwhile, London Thomas's family reacting to Pendergrass's criminal charge.
I could feel it in my heart when I was talking to her that she was lying when she said that London had left.
Justina Martin says Pendergrass's relative was in a relationship with Thomas. She was last seen at a Pendergrass family home on Carlisle in Inkster, April 5th.
I want justice for my granddaughter, and I know she lying. I know she had something to do with my granddaughter's death. I believe she killed my granddaughter.
But no homicide charge has been filed against Charlotte Pendergrass. Michigan State Police says its detectives are still working with the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, and more charges could be announced as the investigation continues. Now, as for Pendergrass, she is facing a 4-year felony, and right now she's locked up on a $50,000 cash surety bond. The Oakland County Medical Examiner is still working to determine London Thomas's cause of death.
Wow. So they got her on a $50,000 bond. D-Money says, Granny no. Oh, yeah, you know that, D-Money. Belinda says, bless her. Belinda says, I think they rearrested him. Yeah, they got him, Belinda. They got him with lying, but they got him with lying in another case. Nay says they don't have enough evidence to charge them with. Yeah, they got the boyfriend with lying, but lying in another case. These damn mothers got my blood boiling for real, and this is why a lot of these men are effed up in the head. You right about that, Anna. I wonder why they unalived her. Who was the SUV registered to? That's a good question, Monique, because they found her, you know, in the SUV. So that's an excellent question. Find out who that SUV was registered to. Salute everyone. Salute Constance. Who car was she found in? She was found in the SUV. Not sure who SUV it was, Shonda. Oh, wow, another case. Yeah, these cases are just piling up. So I said, let me just try to knock out, you know, as many cases as I can in one. Salute, Rob. Salute, Rob. Let's go to Baltimore. Let's go to Baltimore. We're going to go to Baltimore, my hometown, where a 6-year-old little boy was unalive, shot. Now, they don't know whether he pulled the trigger himself. This be my thing, y'all, when it comes to these babies pulling the trigger, these babies unaliving themselves, shooting themselves. For me, I say no. And this is just my opinion, and I could be wrong. I can't see how a little boy or girl, 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, has enough strength, and I could be wrong. I just don't see that how they could have enough strength to pull that trigger and unalive themselves. Like I said, I could be wrong. Let me see what my chat. Boyfriend allegedly made false reports a year ago. Blue Devil says shank down the rabbit hole. Yeah, we're gonna take a trip down the rabbit hole in these cases. We're gonna go down that rabbit hole. Anna Clark, you're right about that. They have not been raising them right for a while. Autopsy is going to be important. Video surveillance and phones. But mom was charged. London case for lying. Correct. Baltimore in the house now. Shout out to all my people from Baltimore. Shout out to all my people from Baltimore. Baltimore, I can't let y'all off the hook. I come from Detroit all the time. So I got to come from my hometown, Baltimore. I can't let y'all off the hook. Precious says, I'm still here, y'all. I'm just cooking. What you cooking, Precious? Let us know what you cooking, Precious. He's really a baby. For real, Shank, I live in UK, but I'm Irish, and I'm sick of these mothers and fathers letting these babies down so bad it hurts my heart. Yes. Shout out to all my people from the UK. Shout out to all my people that's from the UK or even live in the UK. Shout out to all of the Irish side of the human family. Chen says sad. Lisa says, Lord, Lord. I hope you're having a good Sunday. I was wondering. Salute, Squeak. I see you, Squeak. Salute. I see you, April. Shout out to all my people from Oklahoma. You know we're going to take a trip down there to Oklahoma. What's good with the CPS? What's good with Oklahoma's police department? What's good with the state of Oklahoma? CPS is crooked and wicked. United States. What's really going on with CPS? All right, y'all, let's go to Baltimore.
It's devastating, though. The life of a 6-year-old taken by gun violence. Baltimore police tell us at this hour it is still unclear who is responsible.
A little boy found dead inside of one of these West Baltimore homes.
It is again heartbreaking to see a child, to hear that a child has lost their life.
A child.
I get real bent out of shape. I get real emotional when it comes to these children. I lost a 3-year-old daughter in 97. I get real bent out of shape, y'all, when it comes to these children. At 6 years old, how could a 6-year-old have had access to a firearm? That's if, because as of right now, they don't know whether or not the 6-year-old took his life. But how could a 6-year-old have access to a firearm? How could a 6-year-old lose his life at the hands of a firearm? Somebody make it make sense.
Losing their life after a gun was fired. This neighbor, who asked to remain anonymous, describing it as tragic.
It's instances like this and like this, unfortunately, that remind us that unfortunately our neighborhoods aren't as safe as we imagine them to be.
Officers swarming Vine Street just off of MLK Jr. Boulevard around 2:45 this afternoon. BPD Commissioner Rich Worley says police found the 6-year-old boy with one gunshot wound. He says no one else was inside the home when officers arrived.
We don't know if the child shot himself.
I got to stop it right there. So the child, they found the child in the house by himself, unalive, from a single gunshot wound. What's really good, y'all? When it's one thing when we aren't taking care of the children, but it's another thing when we can't even protect these children. They babies. This is a 6-year-old baby. You know what I'm talking about? So we then went from taking care of the babies to not protecting the babies. These babies should be protected. These babies should be protected. If you have a firearm, that firearm should never, ever be around a child. You shouldn't even be cleaning a firearm. And I know in some cases, some cases, parents do teach their children how to use a firearm. Along with teaching them how to use the firearm, they, teach the child how to clean the firearm, break it down, all of the above. But in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, I think people need to really second guess whether or not, and I'll say it because times has changed. Times has changed. So I think nowadays, as parents, especially as parents, we need to focus in on exactly what we are teaching our children. Because see, nowadays, if you teach a child how to fire a firearm, that could come back and bite you in the ass, because that child could grow up, or that child could take a loaded firearm to school at 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, because you got to remember now, you just taught that child how to use the firearm. So now they might get into an altercation at school. They might be getting bullied at school. So now they know how to shoot. So at 7, 8, 9 years old and on, they bring that firearm to school and use the firearm to resolve their issues. Listen, I do agree that no child should be getting bullied. This is just my opinion on it. And I know times has changed, because during my times when, we would get bullied, we didn't resort to the firearms, especially when we was in elementary, middle school, and high school. We ain't resort to bringing the firearms to school to handle people that was bullying us. We threw the hands, or we picked up a bat, a stick, or something like that. But we got to be careful as parents. Do we really want to teach our little kids how to use these firearms? Because the firearms, by teaching them how to use these firearms, it could come back and bite us in the ass. But that's just my opinion. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. Do y'all think that we should hold off on teaching our young children how to use these firearms and wait till maybe they get 16, 17, or 18? Y'all let me know how y'all feel.
Unfortunately, we seem to have these press conferences way too often of our young people getting their hands on a gun that should be secured by adults, the gun owners.
Investigators were able to locate the gun inside of the house, and they say it appears the gun was fired from inside.
I can tell you what we will find is that whoever owns the gun, if it wasn't properly stored, they will be prosecuted to the best of our ability.
And I think so. I think that whoever firearm that is, I do believe that they should get the unalived charge. That's just my opinion. If that firearm wasn't reported stolen, I think whoever firearm that is, they should catch that unalived charge. And it says, my son passed when he was 2 days old in 99. I would give anything to have him with me and would protect him. My daddy taught us how to shoot, but would never life ain't the same these days. Exactly. My condolences, Anna. Can I get everybody to throw up some prayer hands for Anna? My condolences to you, Anna. Freshie, salute Freshie. Freshie said, myself, the psychologist, a white man, the head principal, a white man, and the head custodian, a white man. We put refrigerators, stove furniture, closing pens, markers, notebooks, home visit. Top Flight says, exactly, because it is a show called Kids Behind Bars. I sit down and explain so many parents that they would not move their disability benefits by taking their children out, especially at a lie. They were told to get that extra money from the special aid. Precious says, no, we did not. Precious says, we called big cousins too, Shank. Yeah, we called our big cousins, our homies. You know, we all have been through this. I done been through this. I done tried to get bullied. I done got bullied. Had to call people up. You know what I mean? had to resort to picking up sticks and chains and stuff like that. We all have been through that. I share your opinion. Britt Baby says, Shank, I'm in Baltimore. The mom went to the store to prepare for a cookout. He was left home with several people in the home. My ears are hearing an altercation broke out. Baby caught in the crossfire. Can I get everybody to throw up some blue hearts? Can I get everybody to throw up some blue hearts for the young little boy that lost his life? Britt Baby says, it sounds like a case he got caught in the crossfire. We got to do better, everybody. We got to do better when we getting in these altercations. You know, is it really worth it? Is these altercations and whipping out these pow-pows, is it really worth it? Because most of the times, it's always somebody that's innocent that get hit. Salute Arius one. Salute Arius one. Most of the times, it's the innocent that ends up losing their life behind these careless people that wants to resort to gunplay. I'll say it again. You can't resort to gunplay about every situation. You know what I mean? Every situation is gunplay.
Working to piece together exactly what led to the death of a little boy.
It makes you think, it does question safety. Should we be outside walking our neighborhoods tonight or this weekend? Because we don't know what specifically happened in this incident. Unfortunately, this is sad, but we got to find a way to come together as a people for common good.
Very sad. Just 6 years old. If you have any information, Baltimore police, ask that you give them a call. We have their numbers over on WBALTV.com. I'm live in the newsroom tonight for Yorgie.
Now, let me ask y'all this, because you know you get so many people that want to stick to the don't snitch code. Now, this is for everybody, and I want y'all honest opinion. If you know who's responsible for this little boy's life being taken from him at 6 years old, do y'all consider if the person told on who this person that's responsible for this little boy's life, is that snitching? Drop a one. Drop a one if you feel like if you tell on the individual or people that's responsible for his life. Drop a one if you feel like that's snitching. Drop a two if you feel like it's not snitching, it's the right thing to do. I'm going to drop a two all day long. I'm going to drop a two all day long. It's the right thing to do. But you got some people that knows what happened, believe it or not, and they will not come forward and tell because they feel like that's snitching. Yo, well, you know, I ain't no snitch, yo. No, I ain't doing. Let the police do the police work. I ain't no police. That got to, if you think like that, that got to be the dumbest way of thinking. Whoever is responsible for this little boy's life being taken from him, I'm sure, because according to Britt Baby, an altercation broke out, you know, and the little boy got caught in the crossfire. I'm sure that you didn't mean for this little boy life to be taken, but you got to do the right thing. And I think you already know that you got to turn yourself in. I mean, that's just the right thing to do. Yo, you got to turn yourself in and you got to tell them what happened. But for those that was present, if whoever is responsible for the little boy's life being taken, y'all gonna have to go ahead and, you know, tell them people. Tell whoever it is that's responsible, let them know, like, yo, you got to go turn yourself in. You know, you got to take your charge. I mean, for everyone who has said thank you and given me my heart, thank you. But I'll give all the honor and praise and the glory to God and put me there, give me strength. That thought process happens a lot here in Baltimore. I know. Trust me, I know. Once again, if you see something, say something. Let these babies live justice for the children around the world. They deserve justice. Yeah. You got to do the right thing. You responsible for that little boy life being taken. You got to do the right thing, man. Turn yourself in. Jennifer says, but when the roles are reversed, they look for answers too, and nobody's coming forward because of snitching. Exactly. Exactly. Like I said, to me, that's the dumbest thing in the world for a child, for anybody that's innocent. Now, I don't promote violence and I don't advocate for the street life. However, the streets is the streets, and there are people that's in the streets. And I can't knock them if that's what you do. If you in the streets, that's what you do. But that snitching code, that only applies to those that are in the streets. It don't apply to civilians. It don't. It only applies to those that are in the streets. And you could be a street dude, and you might have to call the law on somebody. Don't get that twisted. Nah, Shank, I'm too street. Nah, Shank, I'm a real ninja. I don't call the police for nothing. In some cases, you're going to have to resort to calling the law. Some cases. I mean, it is what it is. It makes me wonder that that little baby lay there and suffer after being shot, after whoever did this ran off and left her. And then they ran off and left him. That's the cold piece about it. Like, they ran off and left him. They say when they found him, he was in the home alone. So y'all left him. Back in the day, children were respected. Now they don't care about the babies like that. Exactly. Salute, Tracy. In Ireland, it used to be kids and women were not touched in that street life, but now they don't care. It's sick. And it used to be like that here. It used to be like that here. That part of Vine Street is heavily active. And sadly, the babies, and it's a lot of them get caught in the crossfire. Yes, yes. I heard a few people on camera saying how they won't, especially at nighttime, but they so scared to come out the house. They so scared to come out the house. Make sure y'all get my likes up, y'all. Get my likes up. 63 watching with only 21 likes. Get my like up. I'm going to go to a quick commercial while I grab another case, y'all. I'm going to go to a quick commercial. Salute Ina and Bella's mom. Salute. Salute, y'all. I'm going to go to a quick commercial and then come back. But Linda says, poor baby suffered. He could have been saved. Some selfish, weird thinking family members. Facts. Could have been saved. Constance, thank you so much for your blessings. You don't know how bad I need those right now at this point in my life. So keep me lifted in positive prayers. Can I get everybody to throw up some prayer hands for Freshie? And also throw up some prayer hands for my moderator, 80s baby. She's back in the hospital. She had another stroke. This is the second stroke that my moderator, 80s baby, has had. So can we throw up some prayer hands for Freshie 915 and 80s baby? Salute, Bird. Salute. Salute, Breezy. I'm going to go to a quick commercial, y'all, and come back. We're going to go to another case, y'all. Let's go to a commercial, y'all. I'd like to place an order. Yeah. Hey, let me get a chicken box and a half and half. All right, good looking out. I'd like to place an order. Yeah. Hey, let me get a chicken box and a half and half. All right, good looking out. A chicken box, a half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lanes. A chicken box, a half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lanes. A chicken box, a half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lanes. A chicken box, a half and half when I'm switching lanes.
Lazy about cleaning your apartment? No, seriously. Home Aglow will clean it for just $9.
Switching lanes. When I'm switching lanes. A chicken box, a half and half when I'm switching lanes. But before we get started with this demonstration, let me read my copyright. Younger females like older men. So my smoothie is going to consist of when I'm switching lanes. A chicken box, a half and half when I'm switching lanes. I'm switching lanes. All right, now this is another story coming out of Baltimore. Like I said, I'm always going hard on Detroit. So I said, let me go hard on Baltimore. This is another pow incident out of Baltimore. Now the police are investigating 5 people injured in a Baltimore County shooting. 5 people, y'all.
Following a mass shooting overnight in Woodlawn inside a hookah lounge at a strip mall across from Woodlawn High School. Fox 25's Rebecca Pryor is live in Woodlawn now with surveillance video you're seeing first on Fox. Rebecca, tell us about some of the violent past surrounding this shopping center.
Yeah, Mary. Well, obviously it has a troubled past. This is the second mass shooting marked at the same exact shopping center. It's happened in just over a year. We can see this wall here. It's still scattered with bullet holes from that previous shooting. We can count them. There's 1 here. If we move down a little further, there's 2. And then we can count a third one right here. This storefront still scattered with remnants from that previous shooting. And now another tragedy taking place just across the parking lot.
As a maintenance worker changes the locks, a trail of blood from the front door into the parking lot stains the pavement. Pitch black windows and empty signage may lead you to believe it's a shuttered storefront, but businesses inside this strip mall in Woodlawn claim when they closed down, Azuz's hookah lounge is just waking up.
If you come at nighttime, like 10 o'clock, there's nobody here, and then 11 o'clock, you can't find a parking.
On Thursday, a flyer on Azuz's social media pages advertising an event featuring a DJ and free alcohol, a celebration suddenly turning to.
So y'all mean to tell me free alcohol? I got to give a quick demonstration on this. Free alcohol? Maybe that's the problem. Because them fools had too much to drink. See, y'all, man, let me calm down a little bit. So you mean to tell me we get dressed up, we get fly, we looking good, we smelling good, we drinking good, because the drinks are free, we puffing, we enjoying ourselves. And some fools got to resort to banging up the spot. Y'all got to know, y'all got to put all this in its proper perspective. And y'all got to know when we partying, when y'all having a good time, that's what it is. Nothing more, nothing less. If somebody step on your shoes, I ain't no big deal. My bad. I stepped on your shoes. My bad, bro. If somebody bump into you, whatever the situation might be. And I know it's easier said than done. I know we got people that's going to question any and everything about this, throw in all kind of, but Shank, it could have been this. Shank, it could have been that. There's a lot of things that it could have been, Shank. And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We don't know the full story. I'll give y'all that. We don't know the full story. But when is enough is enough? When is enough going to be enough is what I'm trying to say. You know, go out and have fun. Go out and do your thing. Come on. What caused this? Let's see if we can find out a motive that caused this. Let's see.
Chaos. Around midnight, surveillance video obtained by Fox 45 showing partygoers ducking behind booths for cover and sprinting to safety as gunfire erupts inside the lounge.
What could have caused this, y'all? What could have caused this? Let me jump to the chat. Salute, Petty Queen. Salute, Sarah. Let me start right here. Clubs haven't been safe here in B-More since the 90s. Bet you are underage. I can't tell if that was my Chinese spot or my chicken spot. Right, right, right. It's getting worse and no sight of better. Alcohol and Mary Jane will bring out the beast in these spots, and it's free. People don't know how to have fun anymore. I party in my home. Music, food, safety, comfort, libations, true green flower. I see ya. I see ya, Joystick. I see ya, Joystick. Joystick says she partying in her home. Some people don't get the same response back. Some people want to fight. I want to go out to enjoy myself, not in my life for real. I'm with you. I want to go out, look nice, smelling nice. You know, I want to go out and party. If I'm with my lady, if I'm in a relationship and I'm with my wife, my girlfriend, whatever it is, I want me and my wife, my girlfriend to go out and have a good time. You know, we get our drink on, we get our dance on. We getting some foreplay going. So when we get back to the spot, it's on. Now, if I ain't in a relationship, if I don't got no girlfriend or nothing like that, and I'm single, you know, I'm trying to mingle with the ladies. I'm trying to bring a couple ladies back to the spot. Might only end up with bringing one female back. However, I'm going to try to bring 2 or 3 back. But I ain't got beefing on my mind. I'm out to have a good time. I'm looking good. I'm smelling good. The mood is right. April says, I wish it was the 90s because the world wasn't like this. Exactly. Give me the 90s. And I know the YNs don't understand when we talk about the 90s. This is what we mean about the 90s. Oh, you going back, Odell's, Giovanni's, Pascal's, the underworld. Remember the underground? Choices, Wittens. Whew. 20 grand. I think it was either 20 grand or 21 grand. The spot out Sedonia. Godfrey's. Make sure y'all get the likes up. 161 watching with only 80 likes. Hit that like button. I've been in that lounge and it's small and it's rowdy. I'm never going back. Corinthians. Got to be aware of everything. I stay home and have fun. Yes. It's over a man or a woman. Probably. Nowadays, they're off more than Mary Jane and liquor. I do to Joystick home and the spot for me and my family. Like I said, when I go out, I'm this was on my mind when I go out. Having a good time. You know, I don't smoke, I don't puff no more, but you know, have a sip, get my 2-step on, because I can't dance. Don't laugh at me, y'all. But I 2-step the hell all night long. I'm in the club 2-stepping. Melba's on Green Mountain, 32nd Street. And the list goes on and on. Volcanoes. The list goes on and on. But I'm out enjoying myself because I know when I get home, it's on with me and my old lady or whatever lady I bring home if I ain't in a relationship. 20 grand, yeah. Gas fees, Windsor Inn. Joe Clark don't bring no hot dogs. We want chicken. Well, see, I got my Baltimore people in here now, Tony. I got my Baltimore people in here, and Baltimore people love hot dogs. So I don't know what y'all gonna do now, Tony King. My Baltimore people, we grew up on hot dogs. I see CITV. Salute CITV. Britt says, oh, wow, y'all really taking it back. Paradox, Twilight. Oh, Lord. Club Mate. I don't know if I was born yet. I do remember Club Mate, Twilight, Paradox. Man, I live in a city where it's predominantly Hispanic. The clubs cater more to young folks, and there's no place for the material folks to go anymore. House parties it is. Positive Vibes is not here to serve food. Y'all know when Positive Vibes in here. When y'all start seeing somebody roasting me, that's how you gonna know Positive Vibes in here. I still go to Windsor Inn and go to have a drink. Windsor Inn used to be my spot back in the early 2000s. Hammer Jacks, 32nd Street Plaza, Louis, yes, Lord. Oh, wow, Joe Clark, you play too much. A lot of jealous, miserable people got to be more careful. Yes. Salute, Chris. Underground, salute. I see you, Chris. I see B more in the spot. Yeah. And Baltimore people, we love hot dogs. Club International in the dirty, not too far from Vine, where the baby was taken. If y'all would like to join the channel, if y'all would like to be a member to the channel, Nikki Lynn dropped the membership link. Click on the blue link that Nikki Lynn dropped in the chat to be a member of the channel. Let's finish up with this, y'all.
According to Baltimore County Police, 5 people were shot, although their conditions are unknown, along with a motive and a suspect.
The first thing that ran through my mind was to get out.
Returning this morning for a purse she left behind, a woman claiming to be a bottle service worker, saying yesterday was her first and last day on the job.
It was just traumatizing, so I just want to get my belongings and just stay far away from this area.
Unfortunately, it's nothing new.
The incident eerily similar to another mass shooting at the strip mall in December of 2023, killing 1 person and injuring 4 others. The brick wall outside of Sonny Awan's restaurant.
This is a bullet hole right there. This one, that one, this one.
Still riddled with dents from the barrage of bullets.
Obviously, when you have standing in front of 4 bullet holes, obviously, you feel for your safety. But I hope that, things get better.
Back then, Awan says he warned police of the large crowds and after-hour parties plaguing the area, and hopes more is done this time around to prevent future tragedies.
That is happening here again and again. It's sad. A little bit more police presence will make everybody feel safe.
Now, it's unclear if this late night lounge has a liquor or a hookah license. Today, I reached out to the county and police for confirmation, but have yet to hear back. Meanwhile, police say that they are still searching for a suspect, and they're urging anyone with any information in this case to come forward and call Crime Stoppers.
We're going to stay in Baltimore, y'all. We're going to stay in Baltimore. Let me see what else I can find from Baltimore. We're going to stay in Baltimore. I think it was something else that I had seen. Give me 1 second, everybody. Oh, I know what I want to talk about. Y'all. Excuse me, y'all. There is a lawsuit. If it's anyone that was detained or either committed at any of the juvenile detention centers, that's Waxters, Charles Hickey, Montrose, Boys Village, there is a lawsuit Give me 1 second. All right, here we go.
Childhood sexual abuse survivors.
I think I got it. So if you know anyone that was sexually assaulted or assaulted by any staff members at these juvenile facilities, there is a Maryland sexual abuse case that's going on. So once again, if you know any family members or friends that was at Charles Hickey School, Montrose, Waxters, Boys Village, to name a few, there is a lawsuit. Let's get to it.
Are demanding justice after they say the state failed them during their time in juvenile detention centers in Maryland.
And this morning, hundreds of people gathered at War Memorial Plaza to make it clear they will not be silenced with this. WJZ is live downtown at 5:30 tonight. Ashley Paul heard from the victims about what they went through and what justice looks like for them. Ashley, good evening.
Hey, Rick. Well, it was an emotional morning here at War Memorial Plaza as victims shared their stories of childhood abuse at the hands of people meant to protect them. And they say while the abuse is over, the trauma lives on.
Good morning.
Survivors shouting their messages loudly.
How many more survivors need to come forward before the state finally takes responsibility? How many more children have to suffer before change is made?
To prove to the state they will not be silenced.
How many times does this have to happen before those in power stop pretending that they don't see what's right in front of them?
Among them is Alexis Massey, who was put in the Maryland juvenile detention system and sent to Good Shepherd Residential Facility back in 2012.
They withheld food and made us go to bed hungry as a punishment. They kept hygiene products from us until we earned the right to be clean. They forced us to fight each other, placing bets on who would win, laughing as we tore each other apart.
Massey says the kids there purposely acted out because it was safer than being a favorite.
Those were the kids who stopped talking as much. Those were the ones who flinched when they were touched. The ones who got special treatment that no child should ever receive.
Massey is just one of 3,500 people who has filed suit against the state since the Child Victims Act got rid of time limits dating back as early as the 1950s. And at a rally Wednesday morning outside of Baltimore City Hall, she is one of hundreds demanding the state take accountability.
The state is not above the law. Am I right? The state is just as accountable as the Catholic Church or any other institution that perpetrated sexual abuse.
And Massey hopes the state will step up and take accountability for what she and so many others went through.
Justice is not negotiable. You have the power to make this right.
Let me just stop it right there, y'all. Appreciate the new membership. Appreciate you joining the channel, Jennifer. Let me just stop it right there. These state facilities, so as well as CPS, the state juvenile facilities, as juveniles, it seems as though we can't catch a break. Janet says we have the same lawsuit here in Illinois. And here's my thing, y'all. How hard is it? How hard is it for the children to be protected? How hard? As children, it just seems that the children can't win for lose in these cases. And I know you always got the ignorant ones that will say, well, Shank, it's not like those juveniles that was in those juvenile detention facilities. It's not like they were angels. And let me explain something to y'all. Just because in these cases, these were juvenile offenders, they still didn't have the right to inappropriate touch these juvenile offenders. We all grew up learning 2 wrongs don't make a right. So just because these are juvenile offenders, that don't give the staff the right to sexually assault them. Right is right and wrong is wrong. So if you have any family members that has been inappropriate touch while at any of the Maryland juvenile facilities, and this dates way back to the 50s. And as Janet says, they have the same lawsuit in Illinois as well. Make sure you notify your family members. It's a sick world that we live in. And people will use every opportunity. People will use every moment that they can to take advantage of a child. The children that's in foster care. Oh, well, nobody wanted the kid anyway. Man, what is you talking about? Just because nobody may have not wanted that child, and that's why that child ended up in foster care, that don't mean for you and nobody else to have the right to inappropriate touch them.
Now, meanwhile, some members of the General Assembly are pushing for caps on damages. A statement from the Department of Juvenile Services reads, quote, DJS takes allegations of sexual abuse of children in our care with utmost seriousness. DJS notes that all the claims brought under the Maryland Child Victims Act involved allegations from many decades ago. Beyond that, DJS will not comment further on this pending litigation.
One more case, y'all. One more case, and then we're going to get out of here. All right, everybody? One more case, and we're going to get out of here. I will be going live again at 9 p.m. My demonstration for 9 p.m. is Diddy and Trump's breaking news. Now, you all know that P. Diddy rejected a plea that they offered him. We're going to be chopping it up about the plea agreement that P. Diddy rejected. Also, in Donald Trump's latest news, Catholics are offended at the fact that Donald Trump would post a picture of him dressed like the Pope. So make sure y'all pull back up at 9 p.m. while we chop it up about Trump and P. Diddy. I got one more coming out of Baltimore, and then we're going to get out of here, y'all. One more that's coming out of Baltimore, and then we're going to get out of here. I said I got to lay off of Detroit for a while and go in on my hometown, Baltimore. All right, let's see which one I want. All right, we're going to come to this one. 16 juveniles arrested in 48 hours.
This really big deal is Good Friday through Sunday. Visit JC Penney for 25% on beauty and hair care.
Baltimore police say 16 teens.
All right, y'all. 16 juveniles arrested in 48 hours. Residents and officials are frustrated.
Teens were arrested this weekend on charges stemming from stolen cars to handgun violations to a break-in at a local school.
Nearly a dozen suspects have been arrested and have prior arrest records, and 7 were released, leading to questions about a cycle of juvenile crime across the city.
They got a pattern going on, and they just continually breaking the law and doing that. I think, yeah, it's something, some consequences should be held.
And thank you for joining us. I'm Kai Jackson.
Anti-Maxine Stryker, police, parents, prosecutors, they have been raising red flags about juvenile crime for months, and critics argue these arrests point to another example of an absence of youth accountability.
For any normal citizen to take a look at this, I believe that things have got to change, not just in the Baltimore area, but with the state of Maryland and how they deal with juvenile suspects.
Fox 45's Vincent Hill joins us live with the frustrations from across Baltimore tonight. Vincent, what are you learning?
Well, Kai, one of the people frustrated is the city's top cop, Commissioner Worley. 16 juveniles arrested, most of them back on the street, and one expert says they're probably already reoffended.
Near the West Side Shopping Center in Southwest Baltimore.
Yes, sir. Got an armed robbery. Frederick and Willard.
Man robbed at gunpoint. The suspects didn't get far.
20. We got 2 of them custody.
Baltimore police arresting an 18-year-old and a 17-year-old juvenile. He's one of many juveniles arrested over the weekend, 16 in total, for a long list of crimes, including robbery, handgun violations, and burglary. Like this one. E. Rodman Elementary School Friday night.
20, be advised, it looks like they're dragging a safe out. 2 of them wearing all black hoodies.
Baltimore police say those 2 suspects were 14 and 17 years old.
But you got some that's just, it's really no helping them.
According to Baltimore police, 11 of the 16 have been arrested before.
They going around like there's no consequences to nothing they doing right now.
2 have been arrested more than 9 times. 13 of the 16 were taken to the Juvenile Justice Center.
Back when I was coming up, all it took was that belt or whatever.
But 7 of those were released to their guardian. Residents say the numbers don't add up and point to DJS.
Once it's been looked into and see that they got a pattern going on and they just continually breaking the law and doing that, I think, yeah, it's something, some consequences should be held in regards to it.
Commissioner Richard Worley addressing his frustration in a statement, saying in part, we cannot arrest our way out of this problem. We need accountability.
Look at the commissioner's statements. He seems to be very frustrated, and I don't blame him.
Law enforcement expert Betsy Smith.
How he is hamstrung in part by the juvenile justice system in Maryland.
Fox 45 reached out to DJS Secretary Vincent Schiraldi's office regarding the arrest and Worley's comments about accountability. A spokesperson says, quote, they're looking into the details.
Crime needs consequences.
Meanwhile, as some of those 16 juveniles are back on the street, Smith says it's only a matter of time before they reoffend yet again.
The system, as it is in place now in the state of Maryland, clearly is not working, at least for this group of juvenile offenders.
Now, we also asked DJS if any of the 16 were arrested for robbery or handgun violations, because according to their new policy, they must be held. They tell us, quote, they're looking into it. For now, we're live at BPD headquarters. Vincent Hill, Fox 45 News.
Baltimore City, Baltimore County, y'all got to do better. Parents, y'all got to do better. It all starts with parents, in my honest opinion. It starts with the parents. Parents, we got to do better. Let me read a few more comments from the chat, then we're going to get out of here. Diddy thought he would get off if he took a plea, and I'm Catholic, and I don't give 2 F's about Pope or any of them. I do care that Trump is trying to help racist people in Ireland. Salute, Michelle. Salute. Once again, if you would like to join the platform, if you would like to purchase a membership and be an official Rock Squad member, click on the blue link that Nikki Lynn has dropped in the chat. And for those that's catching this on the replay, if you would like to purchase a membership, I will drop the membership link in the comment section. Belinda says Trump signed an executive order on April 23rd to administer corporal punishment in schools 5K to 12th grade. It has to start at home, is my opinion. I'm with you, Belinda. I'm with you. Joystick says, period. Chris says, I agree. Shakira Soul Food says, parents, speak and teach your children. You're not their friend, you're their parents. And that's facts. That's facts. And as parents, we do have the responsibility of raising our children. It's no excuses. Well, see, let me tell you, you brought them in this world. It's your responsibility to take care of them. It's your responsibility to teach them, educate them, and raise them to be upstanding citizens. Nothing more, nothing less. It's no cutting corners. It's not. Teach your children manners. Teach your children respect. Manners and respect take your child a long way. Do y'all know the majority of juveniles, the majority of the children aren't even taught manners and respect? The majority of these parents today, they teach their children how to be disrespectful. They teach their children to be disrespectful. The majority of the parents. In Maryland, you got a single father working a single mother's working 2 or 3 jobs. That means nobody to take care of them. And that's a good point, Freshie 915. But it still don't stop that father and that mother from teaching the children's manners and respect. Our parents worked 2 jobs. Our parents had jobs, and they still taught us respect and manners. Many years ago, Baltimore was a good place to stay. Yes. Back in the 80s, I'm a 70s baby. So back in the 70s and 80s, Baltimore had its problems like any other city, but Baltimore was a beautiful place. The 90s, it was, half and half. But when the 2000s hit, that's when Baltimore really went downhill. Shank, I will try to catch your next live. I found you through Miss Parker. I love me some Miss Parker. Shout out to Miss Parker and her riders. Appreciate you for pulling up, Anna. Shout out to Miss Parker and her riders. Miss Parker and her riders, they do an excellent job on breaking these cases down. Addicted parents, there are just so many things that children to have. You're right. Precious says, nope. Yes, indeed. Because they think it's cute to be rude. Right. They wear that with a badge of honor. Being ratchet. Like that's a badge of honor. Thankful says facts. That's the one thing you got to teach them: respect, manners, and morals. Yep, our parents did it. Squeak says it starts at home. And that's where it starts at. It starts at home. If you teaching your child, for some people, they might say, well, I only teach my child to be ratchet. Well, if you ratchet, and if all they saw from you is ratchet behavior, then that's teaching your child to be ratchet. Whatever behavior you put on in front of your child, that's the behavior that you're teaching them. Me too, Shank 75. Yep, the 80s cleanup blocks. Yes, it was. It's so hard. You got drug addict, your parents, and it's just a loss. It's just a loss trying to find the right cure. It's hard. You got drug addict parents, drug addicts as your parents. The good old days. My mom had 12 of us. I was born 78, and she made sure we had respect, morals, and values. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. I hope to see y'all back at 9. I think Miss Parker going live later after 9, but I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Hope to see you all back at 9 o'clock. I will leave the chat running, and you all can hang around. Remember, the demonstration for 9 o'clock will be P. Diddy and Donald Trump news. All right, so if you want to get caught up on the latest P. Diddy and Donald Trump news, pull up on me at 9 p.m. Salute everybody, and I'll see y'all back. Why do you think Keefe D is trying to throw you under the bus by implicating you being in the Tupac's murder?
Well, to be honest, I think it's all the conspirators out there or the conspiracy channels that's out there that's feeding his head. I saw that his son been dealing with this white guy. I don't want to call him assaulting like I want to say, but this guy that got a carpet, a wig on his hair. I call him Uncle Fester. He got a channel, and they've been pushing that theory and snitch no joke and all of them. They be pushing no theory. So when you start listening to all of them, and the PI that the court appointed them came out with this theory with it being on the case for 3 or 4 days. And then they were like, oh, it was Reggie Wright Jr. We got, but as the DA and everybody told me, say, Reggie, that's just a delayed tactic. They trying to delay the tactic. They got it pushed back a year. And so, hey, well, we care. He's sitting in jail. And so is this a delay tactic? Maybe they hoping some witnesses change their mind or die or something come up. But if you're innocent, you want a speedy trial. But if you know you're gonna be sitting down for a while anyway, you'll be like, well, it's easier for my people to come and visit me at LA County Jail than it is, or Las Vegas County Jail than it is to whatever penitentiary they send you, because they can send you to anywhere in the state then. So I think that's what the plan is. And hey, give yourself a chance. Give yourself some type of defense.
Right.
So I ain't mad at him for trying.
Yeah. Now I did hear him mention something about the witness. He said, yeah, the key witness is the one. Are you a witness for the state? Are you going to be a witness in that case?
I went before the grand jury and testified to the atmosphere. I wasn't there. I was at the club. I was 2 miles away from where all of that happened. Right. The only thing I could testify to is the atmosphere, just what was going on around Death Row, the beef between Bad Boys and Death Row at the time, and all of that. That's all they asked me about. That's all I testified about. Some of the procedures of how they roll and the security procedures and the lack of security or whatever that took place. That's all I talked about. The key witness is himself.
Right.
And then his homeboy, this dude named Dirt Rock, that used to live with one of the guys that was in the car. That's telling everything that dude was telling him. And guys from the South Side Compton Crips. Reggie Wright is a